Hello everyone, I'm Paul and welcome to Gelling Outdoors. Today I've got this ash tree beside me and it's completely dead. The tree's a foot in diameter, and if you can see here, if we look this way, going to the back, there's a garage there, and the problem is I can't drop the tree that way because of the garage. It will actually hit it. If we look this way, just here to my left, there's a power line. I don't know if you can see it. There's a power line up there, and then if we pan a little bit more to the left, you can see the house there. So if we stand right on top of the tree, basically what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and shoot the tree straight down. There's a garden there just on the left, and the canopy is most likely going to hit a bit of the garden. I don't think I can avoid that because the canopy is a little bit too wide. And also the issue that I have here is that I can only get it so far to the right because it's going to get hung up on everything that's growing up on the right. Going to the back side of me, the problem is that all the foliage here on all the trees that are growing, it would get hung up there and has the potential to push and kick to the right, and I don't want it hitting the garage. So on the back of the tree there's a little indent here, and if you listen to that, sounds hollow in there, so it's dead inside. Up here, nice and firm, so I'm going to have to cut the tree up higher. The other thing is I can't cut it down here on the low side because I can't get the saw high enough to cut. The other thing too I want to let you know is that I'm going to use the Stihl chainsaw that I got on the ground here to cut it down because it has sights on both sides of the saw. The Echo saw that's just over here as well, it only has the sight on the one side of the saw, so I can't use it. I need both sides for this one. I have to make this as accurate as I can to make sure that I get a nice straight line. I'm going to put some wedges in. Also, I'm going to make a nice big face cut, or open face cut. I'm not going to put a conventional cut, I'm going to use an open face cut. For that, the reason why I'm using that type of cut is that when it starts to steer it down, is that it will hold on longer, and I want control on this tree as long as I can keep it. So let's get it done. I'll start cutting here. Okay guys, I got my face cut done. I'm just going to double check my saw to make sure I've got the line where I want it. That's good there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the back cut, and I'm going to try and put wedges in if I can. The tree is actually almost 100% straight up, so if it starts to lean on my saw, I'll get the wedges in. If it's not, I won't. The other thing too is I'm going to leave a little bit more wood on the far side, on the low side, and the reason for that, I want to leave a little more wood on this side where my hinge is, because when the tree goes down, I want it to pull to the right a little bit. So I'll end up cutting a little bit less. My hinge will be tapered a little bit on this side. So let's get the back cut done. Whoops. Okay guys, you want to take a look here. As I mentioned here on my notch, and when I made the back cut, I want to make it a little bit tapered. You can see here, I've got nice holding wood. I could hear it cracking a few times when I was hitting the wedges. That's why I paused a few times. The other thing too is, as you notice, it landed nice. It came down nice and smooth, and it stayed on the stump, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to shoot, because I've got the garden there and stuff. I didn't create the minimal damage. So this is a very nice, beautiful hinge. And the reason for the open face, so when you got such a big wide open face, is that it go down and it doesn't hit, the apex won't hit, or when it closes, it has a lot of room, so it was able to come all the way down. If you have just a conventional notch or a Humboldt, what would happen is that when it comes down, let's grab a winch or a wedge, it would actually, what would happen is that you have your wedge here, and if it's straight like this, what happens is once this part hits here, it'll actually rip the hinge out and go forward. And I didn't want that on this case. I wanted it to stay with the stump, as you see here, so I got a nice fall. It fell nice and slow, what I wanted, so it fell soft. It did minimal damage to the ground because the ground's all wet. I don't want to do too much damage as well. So, excuse me, I got a nice stump here. I'm just going to open here with my axe, and we can see if it's rotten. You can see here how the wood is brown inside. It's not super bad, but it's bad enough. Anyways, there's a big indent in there that's a little bit soft and it's rotten. As you can see here, I've got minimal damage, and as I mentioned, I wanted to go along the side of the bush there, so stayed away from the garden as much as I could. So the tree is about it's a 1 foot diameter where I cut it, and the tree is about 75 feet long, or 75 feet tall. So guys, you can see here the top of the tree, and as I said, I wanted to do minimal damage in the garden, and basically it barely touched it, so that's really good. You can see down there a few of the branches. If you look on this side here, like I say, the canopy is a little bit wider, so I've got it perfectly in between the my target, so it's happy with this. My wife's happy with this anyways, so I didn't damage her garden. That was the main thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this tree up into sections for the sawmill, and then I'm going to get the tractor and the grapple out and pick up all the brush, and also to move the logs.